Okay, let's add some of the red tips on the petals of this poppy, this white poppy here. And I love poppies because, you know, there's all different kinds, they're all different colors, and they're just a lot of variety. And this one is going to have some just red tips on the petals. Some of the others have more red and stuff on them. This one's going to be predominantly white. But we want the red tips on the petals, just adds interest, variety, and just kind of fun to paint. So here in the light, I'm using cadmium red light. It's going to catch these. A bit here. Pops up. Now this one over here is also going to have some cadmium red light because that sun's hitting it. There's going to be a split in the petal there, so some of that red comes around. And I'm letting this mix into some of the white, and that just makes a little bit brighter highlight. I'll let the red come on down. Helps accentuate that petal. Also, the cadmium red's light's going to be up here. And I don't just completely outline the edges. And the edging on these is not even. It's not just a straight line around the edges. Some of it comes down a little bit further into the petal. It's just a nice variety. But I just pull from the outside of the petal down, pull that into the white. Now this is catching more light, so bringing some of my cadmium red light into that. I like this paint to be pretty thick. Now if I want to soften some of these places where the color comes down into the petal, like right here, I can pull from the white into that, and that just softens it that way. If I want the red to come down a little bit more, I lightly, in fact I hold the brush like this, very lightly, and just bring some of that color down. You have to be careful not to dig in to your color. You just want to do this very lightly. If you dig in, then you pull the paint up and mix it and it gets all dirty. Here I pulled a little bit more red into that than I wanted, so I'll just bring some of my purple, my Dioxazine purple plus white, right back over that. And I want that on that edge too. There we go, so that light hits it. It's just a very, going back and forth. Pushing and pulling, as Jack always used to say. Add a little bit extra light there. Now up here, this is going to be a little bit of color we're pulling back in. Now that's going over the edge. That petal's actually, the edge of it's underneath, so we don't see the color on this portion right here. And then we start seeing it here. It just helps define those petals. Again, this is going back under, and this is darker because it's in shadow. I'm going to let a little come up here. And I'm going to pull, maybe a little bit right here. Just come back into that petal. And that helps give the feel of that petal turning. I'm also going to do just a little bit right here where this fold comes up into the petal, or the pleat. Just helps accentuate that more. Now this I'm going to let just go around the back side of that, so we really don't see much more of it. I'm going to mix a little bit of my cadmium red light with white, because I want this right here to be pretty bright, because the sun's really hitting the petal right there. I'm also going to do that right here. So you really get the feel of that light hitting there. Also on this one. And again, this is why I like the bright, square tipped brushes, because I can just use the edge of the brush to make that line. Now my stamens and center is going to be down here. I will highlight this edge, but I will do it after I do that center portion there. But I'm going to highlight this edge right here, because again, that's catching the light. And then it's going to go underneath this petal here. In fact, I'm going to bring this shadow, bring it like so. So this petal goes more behind my California poppy there. And now I'll bring this light, that'll go behind my California poppy petal. And it's flipping back, so actually this then is underneath on this edge. And I'll just have a little pull up. I may put some cadmium red light right in here just to lighten that just a little bit. And these edges are not smooth. They're like this one catches more light, so I'm going to use some cadmium red light there. In fact, I'm going to use my lighter version here. This gets a little darker. This is in shadow from the petal right here. And then as it goes down, that gets a little bit lighter. But one thing I am going to do right here is this little part, is make that light. And I've saved my background color. I can go back here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just make this the petal shadow right there. And then bring some of my deeper red right in there. And I want a little bit of my white to show. So just bring some of that white. Again, it's a matter of just kind of going back and forth, and there we go. That's what I want. Now this one catches some sunlight. And then up here. Now this is where my flower comes out into my frame, and I've got tape here on the edge, so I want to make sure to check there. I think that's how that goes. And as we come around, then we want this to be want to highlight that edge against, because we don't want that white against white on that frame. It'd be hard to see. That was one reason I planned to make the edges of this poppy red, so we'd see it where it pops out of the frame. Call this series of close-up flowers, large flowers. I'm doing a series for my big annual collector event in Santa Fe, August 30th and 31st, and please come. It's going to be a lot of fun. But this series that I'm doing is called Bursting with Blooms, and the blooms burst out of the canvas. And this then comes up here. Went too far on that one, but that's easy enough to correct. take some of my white and go that way, and then I'm going to pull a little bit this way. Well, went too far. You can just pull back and forth. Put some of my, there we go. So there is the red edge on our white poppy. Thank you again for watching my YouTube videos. You can subscribe to my channel. You'll receive a notification every time that I put up a new video. Also visit my blog and you'll see the finished version of this painting. The link is in the description below. It's also, the address is on the final frame of my video. So, you have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you're an artist, happy painting!